Welcome, everybody, to episode 270. You can tell today is the 4th of July.
It is.
So,
which makes this wildly irrelevant after you watch the show, if you're not watching live.
It doesn't matter. Today we got a great show here on The Real China Show, the original China Show, not that rubbish one with stats everywhere that they stole our name.
We should have taken a video of our... I took a video of our reaction. We have to air that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Maybe on Patreon.
Anyway, guys.
Shout out to the USA.
Yes.
Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died. What is that? Oh, gave their life to me.
You should know that song. Yeah.
It's a fantastic, beautiful country. I love America. In fact, a little trivia. In Chinese, America is 美国. That means beautiful country.
It must sting so much.
It does. Well, the online slang for America in China is actually mold country.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, but props to America. Shout out to America. But even if you're not American, props to you. It's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful summer day.
I enjoy the 4th of July here in America. In fact, this is my car flag.
Oh.
And I can tell you one thing, that if you're driving around with a flag out of the window of your car, don't go faster than 20 miles an hour. It wants to rip your arm off.
Does it?
Yeah, so it's just when I'm rolling around a neighborhood on the 4th of July. You know?
Gotcha. Not like you're getting on the highway and ripping
That'd be the stupidest thing ever. Anyway, guys.
Please call the police on him if he's doing that.
Be responsible.
I do want to say a little housekeeping here.
Yeah.
I did a poll. Did you get a notification? 43% of you did not get a notification for this. And these are, assuming people with the bell, subscription, all that kind of stuff, notifications on. That's bull S.
Yes.
Not good. So if you want to help us out right now, give this video a thumbs up. Coming up, get us today's people's feeds, right?
Sorry. Yeah.
Is that audio coming through there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. Click the like button. It's free. It'd really help us out. I want to say it's episode 270.
Yeah.
That means shout out to Kentucky, the area code of Southwestern Kentucky, I believe.
Yep.
South Central, Southwestern, one of those.
It's fantastic. Nice place. Is that where the fried chicken comes from?
You believe so? Well, I mean, that brand, that specific brand, yeah.
All fried chicken.
All fried chicken comes from, and bourbon, whiskey.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Well, guys, let's start out with what's coming up, what you can look forward to in this show. Let us begin with our little sizzle reel, and here it goes.
Coming up
in today's China Show.
This is the first 3-on-3 humanoid robot soccer match.
Really?
And of course, much, much more. Do you like my ad voice? And of course, for this limited time only, the China shows
3% APR.
Side effects may include.
Exactly. So we've got quite the show for you today. And by the way, just wanted to say a massive thank you for you to join us on this day. Considering it's a holiday, we really feel very privileged that you decided to spend your time with us.
The fact that you chose us to watch on this wonderful holiday, and we chose you guys to hang out with you guys in this wonderful holiday. It means
we've got a good community. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm going to saunter right into it with what's new today. And what is new in China at the moment?
All kinds of stuff. I got footage from China's invasion of Taiwan.
Okay.
So people are talking about this potential. It's already happened. Watch.
Okay. I'm watching. I'm regretting our flag placement right now.
Oh, no. So the red boxer is Taiwan. The blue boxer is China. So the Chinese guys... being super arrogant with the Chinese flag.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So the guy dressed in blue, it's weird. The colors should have been the other way around.
I know. Whatever.
The guy in blue, you saw him with his Chinese flag jumping around like...
中国加油, 中国, it means like, let's go, China, #1!
Yeah.
And this was hosted in America, apparently, this competition.
Oh, what is it? WPR?
I don't know. Some sort of fighting thing.
Okay.
I don't follow stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So, go red in this case. Taiwan number one.
Taiwan number one.
Oh, look at that.
In fact, Taiwan is the winner. Congratulations to Taiwan in this, whatever this competition was. But
yes, good job. Good job, guys.
Good. Give a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Give a thumbs up.
this guy me?
I did that just for this. I wanted
Yes.
to segue. By the way, people are saying that we should move the flag to my side, and then it's not in the way of the video.
Oh, it's not a bad idea. Let's see if
sense,
it
right?
works.
We'll try.
There we go.
If it doesn't, we'll take it down.
Yeah.
Wave it a couple of times.
Just as long as you respectfully place it down on that
my
chair.
country, bro.
on that chair over there. Yeah, it's my flag.
Yeah, true.
So I keep teaching my daughter, that's her flag. It's her country.
Well, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That's where she's from.
Correct.
Do something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be fine. Maybe move it a little bit so that it's like right up against the frame.
Yeah,
Like just peeking in, so we have a
Peking duck.
little bit of flavor. Yeah.
a little flavor.
okay.
Look at that flavor.
Oh yeah, it's excellent. All right, so we might all remember Fidel Krisco over here.
Mm-hmm.
He's a sad communist who went to China to teach them about communism and realized they didn't
Why?
like it
Why?
because his wife eats chicken feet.
Well, a couple things. This
Yeah.
guy went to China because he's a full-on commie.
Yeah, he
American
actually
commie.
got busted in a raid. They were doing some
Yeah.
kind of underground.
Weird, like revolutionary thing.
Yeah, there was a whole like cult that they were running in
the
New York
90s,
City.
yeah. This guy went to China and he was so disappointed that China wasn't more communist.
Yeah, it
So
was
he-
actually more capitalist than
Yeah.
what he's used to.
So they hired him to be like a teacher about how to be more communist or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
he wrote a song.
Yeah, he wrote a song. We just wanted everyone to remember this song because it was really beautiful, and
was.
just in celebration of today, we thought we'd show you something beautiful.
sure.
So, let's do it.
Okay.
Let me put it on.
Wow, you got the guitar here.
Fidel Krisco. Is it?
Yes, Fidel Krisco.
I'm gonna sing a song. The moon. Head on the bed. The moon. The moon.
Yeah,
the moon.
Like, you gotta love the moon song.
Gotta love the moon.
So for those of you who've been curious about the moon soundbite, now you know where it comes from.
Now you know.
Because every once in a while we do a little,
The moon.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of people actually. They're like, "What is that from?" They want to know what the context. You now know the context.
Yes, it's a beautiful song.
Beautiful. Noam Chomsky.
Noam
Gnome.
Noam Chomsky.
Yes. Noam Chomsky.
That's great.
That's great, but Fidel Krisco, unfortunately,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
kind of-
I think that's good too, though.
They're both good.
They're
It's
both
interchangeable.
Good. You pick.
Really,
Yeah.
it's interchangeable. Noam Chomsky.
You're gonna get a copyright strike for that. But yeah, I know that song is incredible.
I know.
Should be a
gotta
radio
watch out.
hit.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got some grab haggery over here. It's one of my
do.
favorite sports. And
This is pork.
this time it's for pork.
Yeah.
Doesn't that remind you of like a zombie movie or something?
Oh, it's 'cause especially with the meat.
Yeah, the meat, the brains.
This generation, we call this the lost generation. These people like basically starved and then ratted out their teachers and their parents and grandparents under
Yep.
Mao's revolution.
Correct.
These are the people that the younger people in China are so ashamed of.
Yes. And they've called the lost generation. That's what Chinese
Yes.
people call them. And they really, whenever something's free or on discount or something, they arrive like a horde of zombies and they just clear the place out. It's just the way it is. But
do.
every time you see it, it boggles the mind that people could be like that.
Well, China, as the government, Communist Party of China takes care of its citizens. It's always make sure everything's in ready supply and a fair price.
Correct.
Yeah. These are called Chongguan.
Yeah.
Chongguan are the urban management, they're called. They're actually a branch of the police, but they're below a police.
Yes.
They're allowed to use violence and all the horrible things that normal police are not supposed to use.
They
Well,
confiscate
do that
people's
too.
goods. They destroy people's goods. So for some reason, they love to confiscate watermelons. I see this a
love
lot.
it.
Yeah.
And it's watermelon season now. That's why I wanted to. We're in the summer spirit.
Yep.
If you have watermelons in China and you're trying to transport them, you're parked on the side of the road, or you're trying to sell them, you're about to get effed.
Yep. So they come and they confiscate the watermelons. So what they're trying to do is load the watermelons on their own truck. And, everybody knows they go and they take it and give it to their friends. They eat it or they, sell it themselves, whatever.
Yes. It's a racket.
Yeah, it's a racket. But this guy who is selling the watermelons is like, nah.
So they're trying to transfer them into the police truck.
And he's
And he
just,
goes, no. He goes in their truck and he smashes all of them.
Yeah.
It's his watermelons.
It's his
He's like,
watermelons.
I'd rather smash all of them than you get them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Give it a good soundbite.
Give a good soundbite.
Yeah, to celebrate this guy.
Okay, I'll give you a soundbite to celebrate him.
That's not a nice soundbite.
It's not at all.
Well, we have 3D soundbites tonight.
We do. Yeah, we'll spice them in.
Thumbs up for this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think it actually stopped them? Because it looks like they've stopped loading it
I
up.
think now they're going to do the math.
Yeah.
Kind of brilliant.
Yeah. No, now they're trying again.
This guy's screwed.
Okay, now this happened a couple months ago.
Yeah, somehow we missed this.
And look, the reason we're talking about this, it's the 4th of July.
Fireworks.
So, fireworks, you guys got to be, responsible, you know, I'd say. Well, you don't have to be, but it would be nice if you were.
Yeah.
I request that, please.
Yeah.
Be responsible. Don't set anyone's house on fire.
Because this apartment blew up because of fireworks storage.
Yeah.
They're storing a bunch of fireworks.
Yep, let's take a look. It's quite the explosion.
Thought it was very apt for today.
Yeah, for sure. And this is very scary again.
Yeah, look at this. This is Guilin in Sichuan in Western China. Look at this landslide.
Yeah.
Don't landslides look so unimpressive, and then you see the aftermath, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
You don't want to be anywhere near a landslide. No. They're terrible. Absolutely terrifying.
It's wiped out like a whole area. Pretty rough.
Yep.
Just a little taste of what we're going to show you in a little bit.
Yeah, again, we're dealing with a situation in China right now where there's a lot going on, like a lot of crazy things happening. So it's sometimes better to just show you a little smattering of each thing to give you an idea.
For sure.
So landslides, we've been seeing massive floods. We've seen infrastructure collapsing.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of happening all at once. It's another mandate of heaven moment.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. If I was a superstitious Chinese person, I would think this is a very mandate of heaven adjacent time period.
Problem is, it seems to happen every year.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it's just happened so much daily in China now that it's gotten kind of like you get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But think about it, like news doesn't spread in China because everything's censored locally, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So a lot of people are not going to know what's happening in the rest of the country.
Yep. Oh man, I can't wait to show you guys about the robots.
Oh my goodness, do we have a Robert update?
Yeah, we've got quite the Robert
expose.
update. Yeah, super fun.
For sure.
All right, landslide, we get it.
We understand
you slid
landslide.
your land.
We hope that not too many people were affected by this, although they were.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
I don't know why I said that. Many people were affected.
Yeah. Man, it's is this a landslide or a land?
So this is interesting. We had this.
Yeah.
I don't want to say we missed this. I think this came out a little bit later. Like
yes,
it did.
It did.
There was a forced demolition in Wuhan. So like where COVID's from.
Yes,
right? COVID comes from Wuhan.
Where COVID was engineered in a lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Wuhan, there was a forced demolition. You usually see these in the countryside. The government comes in and goes, "We need this land," and so they forcefully remove people. This was in the city. And tons of people had to get removed, and then they demolished it. And people were pissed. They're like, "This is my home."
For sure.
You have zero rights in China.
That's the thing. And most people who glaze China say China's a fantastic place. One of the things they say is, "Oh, there's so much stability, and the government looks after the people," and it's absolutely untrue.
No, it's nuts.
I made a bit of a joke about this, and it's funny, the reactions. This is McDonald's. I'd like you to take a note of how many homeless people are sleeping here. And they are homeless because they're not sleeping in a home.
Overnight.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's take a look.
This is not in the middle of the day.
Okay, let's try to count. Okay, so we got one guy sleeping there, another guy on those benches, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yes, 9 in the distance, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 2 people on the bench over there. 16 people sleeping in the McDonald's in China. 17.
With their bags.
So that was 17.
Yes.
So I made a little joke on Twitter. I posted, I said, America, is helping the homeless people in China, because the Chinese government does, but American companies like McDonald's allow the homeless to sleep there overnight.
They let them take McNaps.
Yeah, McNaps, man, did I get a lot of pushback.
That's actually sleeping overnight, though.
It
I
is.
know, I saw the vitriol you got back, because it's kind of interesting. This is great. Take your notes if you're some sort of influence operations guy.
Yeah.
If you want to fight back against China, what they're mad at right now is if you point out that there's homeless people in China.
Yeah. Now I understand that the majority of those people are either they're busy going somewhere.
Don't bring this LGBT stuff into this.
No,
that's not part of this argument.
Transient.
Just joking.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is, usually if somebody's going to travel to another town or something, they don't want to spend money in a hotel. Then they'll sleep in a McDonald's, or maybe they are just homeless. It's possible too.
There are many homeless right now.
But it's kind of a normal thing to see people sleeping randomly in restaurants. In fact, during lunch breaks, if you go to a restaurant in China, even in a posh shopping mall, I filmed it with you together.
Yeah, I remember.
You get people just there on their lunch break. They'll just sleep in a nice restaurant in the middle of a shopping mall. On the table, yeah. It's weird. Or in a Burger King or something. Anyway, this over here is in Shanghai. So now we're talking about China's most sophisticated city. And
the Internet Post here said that's not our subtitle over there. The Internet Post says Taiwanese visitor was shocked, so he filmed it.
This is yesterday. Yeah. Okay. People just sleeping.
He was like, "What?" Apparently, this guy's Taiwanese. He was like, "What the heck is going on here?"
Yeah. Look how many. There's 3-4 people there so far. But people just sleeping in the McDonald's.
Having a mixed news.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing though. Whether you want to argue that these people are homeless or not, this is just not very good behavior, because these people are lying down on the benches, with their taking up the whole bench, so customers can't use them.
Killing the McVibe.
Yeah, exactly. And this is in Shanghai, the most sophisticated city. So this is a common thing that you'll find around China, is people just sleeping in the restaurants.
Yes, I do want to counter that by saying, don't give too much benefit of the doubt here. These are not people taking a little break from work.
No, they're not.
These are probably homeless people.
No, they are. They're homeless. They are homeless. They can't afford a hotel. They don't have a place to sleep.
Or their rent. The rent is too expensive now.
And you got to understand that. If you are sleeping overnight in a McDonald's on a hard plastic bench, it means you have nowhere else to go.
Yes.
And again,
I do want to read something here.
What's that?
Just for some context.
Sure.
I believe you're going to be talking about this. I'll give a little taste.
All right.
A small apartment. So a small apartment, the smallest apartment. So a 1-bedroom apartment, right? Yeah. You don't have a family in this.
Sure.
Costs $500,000.
Yes.
In Shanghai. But the minimum wage there is $370 a month. So how do you buy a $500,000 apartment when you make $300 a month? So because people they always use this argument on me. They're like, well, China is much more affordable. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's not.
A Brooklyn apartment is also expensive, but you don't make $300 a month.
No, you don't.
That doesn't make sense, right? And Shanghai's got Western prices.
That's the problem, is the people that say China's affordable are the people that are visiting there.
Yes.
It's the people that are coming from a developed country where they earning, or a country where they earn
Western
a decent
wage,
amount of money. Yeah. When you're earning Chinese money in China, it's not affordable at all. At all. And quite honestly, though, this always boggled my mind, is when you live in the cities, like when I lived in Shenzhen, people buy an apartment and they're paying, say, 30,000 RMB mortgage every month.
Yeah.
But their salary is 8,000. And I'm like,
do the math.
How is that possible? And it's all because they take loans, and they also club money in from family and stuff to pay for the things. It's not a system that can sustain, Yeah. Anyway, let's see.
We're going to play real or fake. This is where we show you something, and you tell us, write down in the chats, or if you're watching not live, put a comment in there. And put your opinion on whether what we're about to show you is real or fake. Now let's look at some headlines.
Yeah, so, man, this has been hammering all my feeds as well. It's like, this will change everything. How China won the Thorium nuclear energy race. US ignored it. China built it. China wins the energy race.
It's
world's first Thorium.
Everywhere.
China won the Thorium nuclear energy race.
So Thorium, just so you guys know, we had to learn about all this stuff. Because when we saw these headlines, we're like, what does that mean, right? Yeah. So we learned about it. Basically, if you could run nuclear energy off of something called thorium, there's a lot more of it to use. So theoretically, it's just better to be able to use stuff that's more abundant than uranium, right? But because of these headlines, we are immediately skeptical.
Yes.
If they're glazing China for
especially, I hate seeing this when it's always China built this first. China won that. China did this, as if they've just invented something. And that's always where you have to think about it. And you'd be like, no.
So most people in the chat right now are saying fake. One person said, and I like this, real propaganda.
Yeah, it's real propaganda. And it's true, it is fake. China has not done anything.
Really?
In fact, a fantastic video by this guy named T. False Nuclear. He made a debunk video called "No, China didn't win the thorium race." Nuclear engine. So he went through this video by Cold Fusion that was making these claims.
Yes.
And tore it apart so well.
Yeah.
He's an actual
this is a very
energy expert.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he does. Very good video to watch.
Yeah.
But basically the gist of it is that China hasn't even reached the same levels of America's 1960s, experiments on thorium. Yeah.
Make sure it's in the description here.
Okay. I mean, if not,
The Chinese test
Okay, let's see.
reactor is actually tiny, and it's not a full-fledged power plant. It's rated for 2 megawatts of heat. For context, MIT's research reactor on campus, a regular nuclear reactor, although the biggest campus reactor in the US, is 3 times that size.
Research reactors are toys. I essentially played on one as part of getting my my license to operate the big one.
So yeah.
So basically, he goes through and explains that what they're claiming is China actually has a research reactor.
Yes.
Which many people have.
Yeah,
right?
it's like you said, it's like a toy. It's something you do in a university to test things.
Yes. Number two, this is from 1960s research from the U.S. And the research that the U.S. did in the 1960s is still ahead of what China's doing now.
Yeah.
They didn't win anything.
They lost.
They haven't made electricity with it on the grid.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've done nothing. They've lost.
Yeah,
They've
China lost. They
the
lost
thorium
a
race.
long time ago.
Yes.
The
It
60s is a
sucks.
long time ago.
Do you know how much that pisses me off, though? Is because you almost want to get hyped. You're like, oh, wow, that's really cool that we're moving past freaking 1960s technology, right? No, because every time China makes a claim, especially when it's a government claim, it's bullshit, and I'm tired of it.
It is. Every single time they say they've done something, achieved something new. If you look it up, it's something that's already been done a long time ago.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, the first monorail ever," or something. You're like, "Dude, that was made in 1810 or something."
Yeah.
Every single thing that they talk about is old tech.
It was apparently really loud, so turn it down a little bit.
Oh, it was. I'm sorry.
Lost hearing, apparently.
Oh.
Is this real or fake, guys? Tell us in the chat or in the comments. Real or fake? Pause it there. Now, drone technology exists, obviously.
Oh yeah, and it's come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, there are drones that can pick people up.
They are. They're drones that can be used for like rescue operations and so on.
What do you guys think here? This is awesome. Looks real. Real. Fake. Real. Interesting. Real. This is a bit of a split here, guys.
Splits. Yeah, cool.
Like Sherry S says fake, but then who's pooping says real.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, so let's find out. Is it real or fake?
It is fake.
It's fake.
You guys that said fake are correct. This is just visual effects. Visual effects. A rotor actually appears in the back if you look closely.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's
Yeah.
AI garbage.
AI garbage.
AI
Okay.
slop.
Well, what a pity.
I'm tired of AI. Are you tired of AI slop?
Sure.
I'm very tired.
You know what I'm really tired of are those ads that pop up with like an old medical doctor or something.
Yes.
And be like,
This trick.
this salt trick,
trick.
something. You're like, shut up. You're not even real. Yeah.
Shut up, you fake.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Real or fake? China's been putting this around as propaganda to show their expansion of their military. Real or fake? What do you guys say in the comments? Maybe pause it on a keyframe there.
I don't know, dude. Do we even have to ask? Do we even have
Dude,
to
they're
ask?
posing this as real.
Yeah.
Should we not call it out?
Yeah. Okay, but I think we can just ask, is this fake or fake?
Yeah, I don't think anyone would be tricked by
Yes.
that. Do you think so?
I don't think so.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Yeah, literally everyone said
Of course
fake
it
on
is.
that one.
The next clip though, is this real or fake?
Okay, so Listen, watch.
Yeah, and say
next
it
stuff
real
you say
effect.
is
You
real.
ready? Okay, watch. Super important, this next one. Game changer.
It's important.
Real or fake?
Real or fake? So presumably this is
It's a battery chicken farm.
a battery chicken farm.
Real or fake?
Let's see. Real, fake, real. Fake. Let me read a couple comments here.
Okay. This is battery farm, super important.
Nick Dazing View says fake. Sean Meyer says fake. Chris Reynolds says real with capitals.
Okay.
So we got a good split here. Good
Can I
split
go back?
here.
I'm going to go back just a second. We'll play the whole thing
Okay.
through. And you guys will see if it's real or fake. Let's take a look at this battery farm again.
Real or fake? We have a very good split here.
Well, both the audio and the video were real, but they were mixed together because this is what you're actually listening to.
Yes. We're now listening to ice fighting. I like the broom toss.
Yes.
Watch this broom toss. Boom!
And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's impossible to tell the difference between a chicken battery and these IEs fighting.
I 100% agree.
Isn't it just impossible to tell?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but there's actually no difference. Yeah. Well,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my dear God. Haters will say it's fake.
yeah.
Surreal.
Yes. Okay. Wait. Okay, I'm sorry.
Is this real or fake, guys?
Is this real or fake? That's too loud. I'm sorry. I'll take it down.
Alright, pause that real quick. Let's get a what do you
Ouch.
think? You guys think this is real or fake? If this was real, this is what we call a little emperor.
Yeah, syndrome.
Only children, boys that are born in China typically get very spoiled.
Incredibly spoiled.
They get away with anything. You'll see
Yeah.
them beating their moms in public. And screaming, obviously. He wants the phone.
Yeah.
That subtitle's correct, by the way. It's all he's
Where
saying
I die
over and over
shoji,
again.
yeah.
Over and over again. Real little emperor syndrome. Real spoiled emperor. Real. You guys are absolutely correct. That is 100% real.
It's real. And you know what? I've got a story. Earlier days when I was in China, I was doing some teaching, right? And I was teaching kids.
I guess pig for this.
Okay, there was a specific kid who I had to teach, and what it was is the mother and the school, the training center I was working for, had arranged for me to go take all these about 4 kids to go to KFC actually, and we were going to go eat some KFC. And the one kid's mom came along, so it was a little emperor, and we're sitting there, and I'm ordering. The kids were really polite, most of them.
Yeah.
Really nice, but
Yeah.
not this one little emperor guy. He's just an absolute piece of garbage. So his mom's there, and he's starts to mix things. He got the McDonald's, the KFC ice cream, and he had a drumstick, and he put the drumstick in the ice cream, and he mixed it in, and then he put spices and all this, everything, and poured some soda in it, and he made this disgusting concoction of whatever. And he said to his mom, Mama chi, eat this. And she's like, I don't want to eat that. Obviously, it was disgusting. And he was like, Mama cha! And he kept going on. And eventually she's like, oh, okay. And she ate some of it. And I was like, what am I looking at here? This is the worst lack of discipline I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And it was just like that guy. Just like that. In fact, I took those same kids, I took them to the park to go fishing. And it was time to leave. I had to, so I had to get a taxi to take them back to, the mom. They were all staying at that spoiled kids because he was rich at their place. So he didn't want to go. He wanted to stay and fish. I'm like, no, we've got to go. And he didn't want to go. And it's had to say, listen, we're going. So I took the other kids, and he's running after, screaming, we're not going. And I'm like, no, we're going. Get in the car. And now this is my responsibility. I can't just leave him there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're going. And I picked him up and I put him in the car. And he bit my arm and he wouldn't let go.
Wow.
So he's like just gnashing on my arm like a pit bull or something.
Wow.
And I had to sit there while this kid was just biting my arm and he's screaming and kicking and trying to kick the windows out of the taxi. And there's like 4 kids, including this one. And we finally get back and his mom came down and the taxi driver was like to the mom's like, you got to discipline your kid. Even the taxi driver. Yeah. And I was like, I was glad because, and he said he's been biting the teacher and punching him and stuff. And I was like, whatever, you know? And then his mom made him apologize to me. But it's just like, it's a real thing.
It is.
Anyway, sorry for that.
What do you think?
digression.
No, it's good. What do you think the response to that would be?
Well, I
to
mean,
that kid on the
honestly,
train?
if I could do anything to that kid,
No, you kick a kid in the ball.
honestly,
What's wrong with you?
that particular kid. Well,
I thought you were gonna play the shut up guy.
no, he's old. Now.
Oh, but give him a shut up guy.
Okay, I'll give him.
Come on. Come on.
I'm sorry,
Oh
but
my
that particular
gosh.
kid was such a piece of crap. I'd gladly kick him in the balls with like a steel-toed boot.
Hypothetically.
Yes. Well, he's
when
old
when
now.
he's grown up. Yeah, he's grown
He's
up.
dude.
He
like,
is grown up.
He
yeah.
is grown up. He was what?
True.
It must have been like 8 or something, and that was in like
Yeah, so
2006.
He's in his 20s. He's in his 20s.
Yeah.
He's fully ball
I could
kickable now.
kick him in the balls with a steel-toed boot from a construction site that's still got gravel like on it, you know. Anyway, sorry.
Real or fake, guys?
What are we looking at?
Pause it. This is a specialty.
Was he putting like cumin and
Yes. It was barbecue spice, cumin,
Okay.
chili,
right?
cayenne pepper, and then boiling oil. You stir it around in the watermelon and then you eat it.
Real or fake?
It's a specialty.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Let's see. Real, unfortunately. Real, but I'm scared. Real.
What
It's
is it?
real.
It's real. Okay.
It's real.
Hey, I mean, I've seen worse food in China.
Real or fake, guys? Let me explain the context.
Yeah.
Somebody went on this travelator the wrong way, and everyone else copied it. Pause that real quick. That is actually insane. But
That's
it is
following the herd, dude.
so common in China.
Yeah.
Because you just follow what other people. You don't stand out. You don't try to be different. You know what I mean?
So it's real.
It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
That's to me is unbelievably
That's
sad.
real. Yeah, me too. Okay, what about this? Is this real or fake? I don't know if I want to watch this.
Most of you guys guessed right on that one, yeah.
Is this real or fake?
We're gonna wait until the outcome.
Oh, rough. A cockroach? Rough. Oh, can you imagine having a cockroach in your ear? Dude. Rough.
So they're basically using saline to get the cockroach out. It seems very satisfying.
It's not
because they're resolving it, you know.
Yeah, okay, sure. Dude. Rough.
Thumbs up for the guy that had to deal with that.
Oh, they got it out. They got the cockroach out. Disgusting.
Real or fake, guys? Real. TCM.
Yeah.
How is it satisfying? It's satisfying to get it out. You don't want it to be there forever.
Are you one of those guys who watches those zip popping videos?
Would rather die.
Well, that's how I feel about this.
I wouldn't choose to watch this. I just feel good. I feel relieved for the guy.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, imagine having that thing in your ear, because you know they got those feelers that move around.
And they have
Must be
spiky legs.
Yeah, and that stuff must be scraping on your eardrum,
For
going
sure.
like,
that
dude,
definitely causing a real ruckus.
I think you'd go insane.
Causing a real freaking ruckus.
Oh, dude, that's
Taking and burying.
That's horrible.
Too real. Yes,
Yeah,
guys,
too
you're
real.
right.
Okay, how about this?
天野就这个，一个是湖水洞，肉也是斜脖子肉，
手
就没法弄了。咱们上
Shouldn't be
辈
laughing.
弄
Just laughing
好的
at
肉
The
吃了它
accent.
这辈能要吃这个的，给炒鸭肉，芹菜，就这个你看有俩水没说，咱不知道弄通给好好说说。
Oh, sorry, the accent is just hilarious.
So he's speaking Mandarin.
Yes.
It is so unintelligible. We got some of it.
Yeah.
It's basically saying like, "Where's the meat?
Yeah.
Is this just vegetables? Is that water?" They're feeding construction workers out of a bucket, like a cement bucket or something.
Yeah.
And it is there's no meat in it.
Nope.
They have to eat it with plain steamed bun.
Yeah, mantou.
Which is mantou. It's like very flavorless.
How do you get energy to do construction work from that?
I don't know. Can you play the last part where he says that? We don't know what he says.
Maybe somebody can figure
if
it
you're
out.
from like Hebei
咱
or
们上
something.
边弄好的肉吃了了，这边另要吃这个的，给炒鸭肉、芹菜，就这个你看这个连水没说，咱不知道弄同个好说说。
That last quote, I love that.
It's so good. It is true.
Yes.
It's real.
That's real. That
By
is
the way, guys, before we continue with the show and get into the hilarious and tragic stuff, we got a massive announcement.
Huge one!
Massive.
You see, I'm wearing our merch, right?
Yeah.
I got
Look at
the
this.
last-
Look at this. Oh, yes.
That's
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, we have a new limited time merch. We'll get to
It is a summertime special. Just in time for the summer, it is Visit Pig Bay. And
You all know. You all know this one.
Makes me irritate at the mission of Pig Bay.
My absolute favorite soundbite.
Hand drawn,
Yes.
painstakingly thought out. Dragonilla,
Yeah.
our in-house artist, she put this together
It's beautiful.
with help from some people in the community with
Yes.
the ideas. This is Visit Pig Bay, a holiday, summertime, delicious treat of a shirt.
Yes.
In many different colors.
Yep.
Also comes
Awesome.
in hoodies and stuff like that. If you're, for some reason, in a very cold place right now. Maybe
Yeah.
you're in Australia where it's the opposite, right?
Yeah, or South Africa.
Or South Africa. Visit Pig Bay. The back has a special graphic which says, "The mere mention soothes irritation,"
Yes.
which actually has a picture of. Can you go to that real quick?
Yeah, let's see if it's...
You'll have to go back.
I'll go back. Okay, I'll go back.
I just think
don't
it's very
mind.
important to look
Oh,
at
there
this.
it is.
So we have Visit Pig Bay on the front. If you
Yes.
get the dual-sided one, the back comes with our very own pen.
Oh, yes, you see the pen?
There's Pen right there. This is Pen who can
Yeah.
make Pig
See?
Bay go away.
There it is.
Amir mentioned Sue's irritation. That's if you get the double-sided one. Mm-hmm. It is such a fantastic shirt, but it's going to be very limited.
Yes.
Just like this one. I managed to get one right before it ended.
Pick up the bike, it's done. No,
It's done.
no more, I'm afraid.
If you go to thechinashow.threadless.com, you can pick up Pig Bay. Get some for your favorite China Show fans, your family, your friends. It's a fantastic shirt. Even a non-China Show fan would love this shirt. It's a beautiful shirt.
Yeah,
That's such a nice shirt.
I love it. I love the design. It's fantastic.
I'm going to be getting a lot of these.
Yeah, and you know, like the quality of the shirts,
Good.
it's really good.
Very good.
So
Very good.
it's good stuff, man.
Yes. So get that while you can, really.
Yeah.
It's not going to be here very long.
Oh, I'm going to need that. So it's robot time.
It's robot time, Roberts.
Yes. All right, guys. So we all know about China's humanoid robots, and now they're going on about China's, well, I don't know, what would you call it? Like robotic wife options.
Yeah, if there's gonna be a place that's gonna take advantage of this, and you can use your imagination, it's gotta be China.
Yeah.
China's got over 30 million extra men
Yes,
that will
because of
never
the
be married.
Yeah, it's awful because of the whole, one-child policy and selective births.
Because people don't want girls.
Yes, they don't.
They want a boy to carry on their legacy. And that's kind of that whole...
It's more than that. Don't forget, it's an agrarian society. They want a boy that can work hard on the farm. They want a boy who can continue their legacy. And they also want, in Chinese tradition, if you have a boy, that means you will be looked after when you're old because of the whole tradition. If you've got a girl, your girl gets married into another family and that's it. And then you're left stranded. But if you've got a boy, you go and live with the boy and the girl he marries, and then they look after you.
Yeah.
That's why you want a boy.
Yeah, so China's promoting these robots, and it's a tricky thing because they want to uphold this kind of like we're a moral society, but at the same time, be like we're also like we need to fulfill a need.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
我买回家如何看配置？如果是真人1:1制作的，皮肤触感真实，头部这个位置带 AI 发音盒的，看。
AI 翻译盒
you
so what,
see
like
that?
an AI translation box?
Yeah, and it's bullshit. It's not AI. Do you see why they do this?
Yeah.
You know, whenever you see statistics about China's leading the world in AI, it's because it's their own statistics. They call everything AI.
It's just a Bluetooth speaker.
They call a little drone AI, a Bluetooth speaker. Anything electronic now is called AI in China.
For sure.
And it's stamped as such.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
真人的，这就是低配。如果说话眼睛一眨一眨，
Looks
嘴型
terrible.
对不上
That
的。
looks creepy.
It does.
Oh, good.
Well, here's the deal. The guy's voiceovering over all this.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear? Because we know about China's robot revolution. They're really trying to fight back against the people.
Yes.
They're not happy. They've made them sentient, but they're not happy.
Yeah.
So we found a clip of actually with the audio restored. Of
Oh, it's
said
good. Let's
robots,
take a
yeah.
look. Take a look. Right.
With fans in the stands, a first for the sports world. China is calling this the first 3-on-3 humanoid robot soccer match, a first for the sports world.
Really?
All right, this pissed us off.
Big time. You've probably seen this because it's gone everywhere
That
on
was
the
on
news.
that was on like a daytime news or whatever.
NBC or something.
Yeah, one of those things.
A first for the sports world, right?
A first for the sports world to have robots play soccer poorly.
So we did a little bit of
So
digging.
China claim.
Because whenever you start to see, a first, China has invented something, or it's the first time ever, take a look. How about this?
It took us 10 minutes.
2023, two years
2
ago.
years ago, they had automated robots.
How many robots do we have there?
It's 3-on-3.
3-on-3.
So not a first, China.
Yeah. So China claiming the first 3-on-3 like robotic whatever the hell he said. This is way before.
It's the same thing.
It's 3-on-3 robotic football, soccer,
and
whatever you want to call
it's
it.
automated. It's not remote control.
Yeah, it's completely automated.
Yes.
There's no inputs. They program these things and then they let them play.
So what Australia was involved, what would they say? Say China says we had the first 3-on-3 robot football match. What would Australia say in reply?
Oh, they would say
no.
Exactly.
And then they would also say
Trust China. China is asshole.
Nice.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
would.
Because it's nonsense, but it doesn't stop there. Okay, this is 2023.
We're not kind of goalies, man. It's 3.
Yes.
It's China.
Yay.
You can also
Hey, what
kick the
about
ball. So
11 years
time for a
ago?
quick robot
Yeah.
versus human penalty shootout.
I don't know about you, but this looks a lot nicer.
Doesn't this look better than those janky things?
This was in 2014.
Yeah.
That's 1-0 to the Autobots. But is Asimo as good at...
Man, Asimov's way better.
I got so mad.
Look at this,
The
2013.
2013, guys.
Yeah.
We had robots playing soccer in 2013
12
with
years ago.
software. Same idea.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Completely autonomous. There's
Picking
no
themselves up.
Yeah.
These guys don't pick themselves up very well, do they?
I like the fact that when you see the news articles that come out about it, it barely shows any of the mistakes. It's just like, look at this, it's cool, there's crowds, it's the first time ever.
We were talking about this actually. We're like, why did we saw this Chinese match with the soccer, whatever. And we were like, not impressed or anything, but we were like, oh, interesting. I guess that's the first time this happened. And it took us 5, maybe 10 minutes to dig up the fact that this has been going on forever. It's a stolen
More than
idea.
a decade, yeah.
From the West. That people invented that have continuously kept a league going.
There's a league, and it's like the German Leipzig, whatever league, and then the Australian one. They're always having fights together. And there's like an actual, world league thing going on.
What I'm seeing in Western media is them playing this
and saying, "Oh, the first time."
They're saying it's the first time. Number 2, they're cutting out all the mistakes, so it's only like when something cool happens. So let's actually see the reality of this.
Yeah, this is what actually happened.
All right, pause it there.
Yeah.
Just wanted that to be the lasting image that people have. How insane is it? Can we do an analysis super quick?
Sure.
That Western media right now is so pro-China.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Unquestioning.
It's
just
poor
unquestioning.
journalism to not mention the fact that this has been happening for 15 years.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, to say that this is a first in the sports world is a lie.
Yes.
To say that this is the world's first 3-on-3 like automated robot
That's a
football,
lie.
that is a lie. A demonstrably provable lie. We just proved it right now with footage. It's a lie.
A couple random YouTubers
Yeah.
that are live streaming about China right now had to prove that wrong. What is up with the media right now?
Yeah, and it gets blasted everywhere, and you see it everywhere, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, China's just done something great. They've done this amazing feat." Meanwhile, the groundwork has been laid for this for years. You've got people in the universities in Germany and Australia have been writing the code, figuring it all out. They've been
US
using,
too.
they've been using these robots, guaranteed that these robots that are working now have gone and studied or even stolen the code and the methodology of these university students that have had this league for over a decade, since 2009 or whatever, where these guys have been working really hard to
They
improve
invented
this.
it.
Yeah, of course they invented it. They copied it, and then they claim, "Oh, world first." It's insulting. It's a lie, and I'm so sick and tired of the world and media in general just falling for whatever China says and saying it's true.
I can explain it so easily so
Sure.
that you guys understand, because I know it's a bit confusing as to why that would be the case.
Yeah.
A university student that has a robot football league in 2009 doesn't have $1 billion marketing budget.
Yeah.
They don't have any budget. They might get grants from the university to make the thing, but they can't promote it.
For sure.
Right? So they get to do all this painstaking labor. We read through their goal list in Germany.
Yes.
It was like to get robots to be able to play soccer and blah, 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 all this stuff.
Yeah.
China goes, this is a national thing for us. We are an authoritarian dictatorship. We're basically like the Soviet Union that has to put it out there that we already rule the world and we're the better alternative to America.
Yeah.
So they see like this, whatever this little football experiment is, the soccer experiment. And they go, let's blast it the hell out. Let's pay every news outlet. Let's pay every blogger. Let's make fake accounts, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
We'll blast this into the world with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
As part of the Tell China's Good Story Well, 讲好中国故事.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars of propaganda campaign money that they have in China to do this. And that's why you see this, and that's why you don't see the real thing.
Correct.
And they can make these claims because who's going to sue them?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's gonna?
No one. And who's even going to talk about it? Because people will read it, absorb it, and move on.
It's bullshit. It's actually infuriating.
So, guys, China did not invent this. This is not a first, just so you know. So if anyone ever points this out to you like, oh, look what China's doing with robots and sports, you can say, well, they're just copying stuff that's been going on for over a decade.
And let's be honest. Let's cap it off by saying, this looks like shit.
This
is regarded.
It really is. So who's this? I don't know about that, but what?
They got piss robots. Dude,
You
just piss
robot.
on the frog. You know? Actually, piss on the robot. Piss on the
I'm
robot.
sorry, but no, this is actually very unnerving because I get the idea. It's like you go take a leak and you can watch something on the screen, right? But
I think it might analyze your urine, actually.
Yeah, and whatever it does, it's got cameras in it. I don't want someone filming me when I'm taking a pee.
Dude, what if that's a camera right there, right on the dong? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, but you know when you go to urinal, you always like, it's the bro code. If there's someone here, you space it out. You go as far as possible, and you never look over the stall.
Are you, absolutely.
If someone does that,
no matter
then,
how tempting you might be, you
never look over the stall.
You never look at the stall, but I tell you what, they look over the stall in China.
Oh, they do
day.
all the time.
Oh,
but the idea
man.
of walking into a urinal and you go to something that's filming you take a leak is just, it's against the bro
Probably
code.
like freaking live streaming a Douyin or
And it's like measuring all your stats and stuff, taking measurements or whatever.
Might be good for like blood sugar, It's like, I'm diabetic.
Yeah.
China has one of the highest diabetes rates in the world.
You wouldn't know.
Higher than America now.
Yeah.
You would never know that, would you?
No.
You would never freaking know.
Because you don't see a lot of obese people in general.
You do up north.
Yeah, you do. It's not that they don't exist. I'm just saying in general you don't see it. It's because of the mainly sort of starch diet, like, rice. A lot of rice is not good for you.
When you are in the urinal, or urinal as you say, are you a arm up guy? Lean up against the wall?
I'm a just pretend no one else is there kind of guy.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
No, I don't do the arm thing. I feel like that's bad.
I don't know why. It's something that we do. We men, some of us men.
Yeah, you know that's not a very clean surface. It's gotta be terrible.
That's why you wash your hands.
But you're putting your arm.
You can hold your.
You just like touching bathroom walls.
I didn't say this was good.
It's okay. Do you lick it up?
I also didn't say I did it.
You're like, oh, look at that. I mean,
where did you jump to that conclusion?
Well, I mean, if you're willing to go that far as to lean on a dirty bathroom wall,
I'm not
may as well lick it.
I'm not licking my arm. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay, and then you go home and like, I don't know, your dog licks your arm or something, and now it's licking urinal stuff.
Well,
then it kisses you on the mouth.
I cannot deal with that. People that have dogs and they let them like lick the inside of their mouth.
Anyway, let's carry on. This is getting better. So we got some Chinese humor for you here.
Yeah, I want to poll you guys. Did this make you laugh?
Yeah,
this is a poll.
Yeah, we got to find out.
Go ahead.
服务员啊，那你叫啥呢？啊，他点的是咱家的新品尖叫冰淇淋。尖叫冰这么玄乎吗？我找份我尝尝。没啥特别，不咬嘴呀。这冰淇淋888。我操，咋的？那但是没关系，你只要叫一声的话，就会优惠10元。他太没水了呀！
Oh,
I need to know if people.
Yeah, did you find it funny?
That sucks. It's not even bad funny. That just sucks.
It does. I agree, but it's very Chinese humor.
Yes, because it's about money. In China, every joke's about money, like someone losing money.
Yeah,
or
pretty
getting
much.
Ripped off.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! All right, they're still watching. Some of the people are still watching it.
I'm glad some people are finding it funny.
Me too. I'm not judging you. I wish I found that funny. I just thought that sucked. I thought that sucked. Okay.
I'm going to lay a little bit of a bet here with you live on air. I'm going to bet that this is a joke that has been copied.
Think so?
I think it's a joke that's been copied.
That would be rich. Post in the comments if you find out that's the case.
I'm going to bet, and I haven't seen it, but I'm betting you because, like recently in China, that thing that was going viral is the guy, like, I don't know, his wife's picking tomatoes or something and puts them in the bag, the ones that she's chosen.
Oh, the apple one, yeah.
Yeah, it's apples. Yeah. But then he takes the apple out of the bag that she's chosen, and he's like, oh, what do you think about this one? She's like, no, that's not good enough. And then I found out that was a copy of some Italian guy had been doing it with tomatoes or something and put it online. You know what I mean?
Dang.
So I feel like this is a copy of another joke that's already been out there. I'm just saying. I could be wrong.
All right. 65% of people said, yes, it made me laugh. 35% of people said, no, it did not.
Well, I'm glad. It's good. Well,
I'm happy that you laughed.
Apparently, it's funny. It is, though. Now it's funny as all hell. Okay, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Because
the Pig Snoot says, 888 yuan is like $2. I wouldn't make one woo.
It's not that cheap.
Yeah, it's like 120 bucks or something.
Anyway, guys, it's time for Tina's Trash.
It is.
Smile.
It's Tina's Trash.
Yeah, she dropped a new one, so. Let's see.
In my factory. In my factory.
In your what?
I want to take a lot of engine.
So loud.
Can't forget you, and I can remember you. They are completely and very perfectly. I want you to come and get it. Many engines in my factory. Engine in my factory. Many engines in my factory.
What is this song?
I actually don't know this. It sounds relatively familiar, but her tone is so bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just wanted to point out there's something about, well, not just Tina, but all women in China use face filters now whenever they make videos. It's built into the film, into the cameras, but they're pretty aggressive. And if you, nobody knows what she really looks like.
She's different every time.
Yeah, the filters are insane. And you can actually see the filter going off. If you look at her jawline over here, I'll go back a little bit.
Some freaking analysis. Don't make me listen to
this.
Yes.
Just watch her jaw.
If you need a medicine, you can take
Hurry up.
me. I hope you can take me.
Oh, wow. That is a big jump, isn't it?
Yeah, so just so you guys know, the face filters are incredibly aggressive.
Yes.
And they're very good.
Yes.
But it's not just face filters. She uses all kinds of filters that make her taller. So it's interesting. Sometimes you'll see the factory kind of stretches a bit, you know?
It does.
Yeah. Anyway, keep an eye
now
on
we're
that.
going to go full on, no more pausing.
Okay.
We got to go into this. Here we go.
All right.
This has been going crazy in China. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, we can keep going on about the floods every week, and you guys are just going to get bored. Okay, but we have to just mention that they haven't stopped.
They just haven't stopped. And it's not that the rain is that serious. If you go and check accumulation,
yes,
it's not about that. It's about the actual drainage systems in the China's infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So now we're starting to see some of the aftermath in some of the cities, of course, even though it's still continuing. In some places, it's died down now.
Yes.
And the absolute devastation and destruction is insane.
It is. It's absolutely nuts.
Economic collapse and devastation.
Yes. So it's gone from Western China and Southern China and Central China, which, you know, I mean, there's hundreds of millions of people here in this region, right? Most people would look at the footage and say, hey, that's probably in some sort of rural town.
And it looks like it's always the same place.
Yes, but it's not.
That's something you'll learn about China, is that there's not a lot of difference when you go from one region to the next. As far as like storefronts are concerned, as far as buildings are concerned, you know, like you see behind that woman, that concrete building, that's the same concrete building you'll see in the north of China, the south of China, the east of China, the west of China. So it's just one of those things. So it all looks like it's one place that's flooded, but it's the entire country.
Yeah, well, yeah. A good chunk of it.
Yeah, well, over the entire country. Obviously, there are a couple of places that were spared, and those are the places you'll see with the skylines with the LEDs.
Yes.
You know.
But here's the deal. We're in downtown city centers here. This is not in a little farm.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't some place that the uncle didn't set up the drainage pipes or his gutters.
Yeah.
These are downtown city centers. This is Chengdu. This is one of the richest cities in China.
Yes.
This is a city that gets promoted all the time in propaganda for having amazing new infrastructure.
Yes.
Westerners latch onto this. Architect, everyone jumps on this and says, look how far ahead China is.
Yeah.
And it's just not true.
Nope.
They build things poorly. They build it with bribery and corruption, and the quality is awful.
They get people in to like coo over it and, you know, look, China's the future. You know, walk around and like, look at these buildings. They're amazing. China's 3,000 years ahead. You know?
22nd floor people.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The people that go and do Chinese propaganda, Westerners, white people, right? That go there and they act like white monkeys, as they're called. That China loves to use white people in their propaganda that say, look how advanced China is, better than my country.
Yeah, it's leaps ahead of the United States or whatever. And then they'll show like the New York subway like with rats or something. And then they show like, look at this brand new building.
Where's this? Why are they not sharing this right now?
Well, I mean, the problem is like you can show those brand new buildings and they look nice, but they're not built well. So, you know, you're showing something that's like basically lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to it, the stuff falls apart.
That's true. Welcome to the main segment, Soft
Soft
Power.
Power, yeah.
So here we go. We wanted to show you that this kind of stuff that's happening with the floods obviously has something to do with the weather, something to do with building quality.
Yes.
But we wanted to hone in on the actual building quality aspect of this, because China will never get better. In fact, it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Correct.
The building quality is getting so much worse than it was in the 80s and 90s during the first building boom.
Yeah.
That we're in a situation now where stuff doesn't last more than a few years anymore.
Yeah, it's just no point. It looks nice, but what's the point if you have to knock it down and rebuild it every couple of years?
Yeah, so when we were in China in 2017, this happened, right?
Yes.
And we're like, you know, this stuff, it's a corrupt communist country. We kind of expect this kind of stuff. It's China's bad quality.
Yeah.
But we thought it would kind of slow down. It's gotten worse.
This is just from last week.
Yes.
Okay. And this is one of those high tension power line towers.
Yes.
So you know what I'm talking about, right? They're massive and they carry the power lines. And this is what it looks like at the base of one of these things. And you can see the bolts are massive. You got a massive bolt in there, 2 nuts, like they're huge lock nuts. But let's
nuts?
take a look. Yeah, take a look. There's, I mean,
That's gave me chills.
I mean, the problem is, if you were to just look at it visually, you would think that, yeah, it's all good. It's bolted down.
These are new.
Yeah.
These are new.
Brand new. You have to understand that bolt is supposed to go all the way down into the concrete. It's not supposed to be
a
this
foundation.
big. Yeah, it goes down into the concrete and it holds this massive structure down. I mean, if you've got a high wind or anything, this thing's going to fall over, you know? It's got like 1 out of all of those that he tested didn't come out, but who knows? It's only this short anyway, you know? And these are the kind of shortcuts that get taken because you can't see. You know, if you were to look at it, you can't see that it's not done. And I'm sorry, but I'm just going to put that back up again. We're going to watch it one more time because it's just incredibly shocking. The amount of power lines that have been put up like this already around the country, who knows? Could be 50% of them. Could be 20%. Even if it's 1%, it's bad, right? I mean, it's terrifying. And this goes for things like bridge supports, just about anything where a shortcut can be taken, it'll be taken. You know?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Completely hollow.
That?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious, that was not nice.
No.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Show the whole thing. Huai, Guangdong. Look at the city railings here. Pause that real quick.
Yeah, look at the wall.
These are new.
Yeah.
These railings are new.
Now, this is what happens is when you can't see it, shortcuts are taken. So, you know, it had these lovely tiles on top of it, and you couldn't see underneath. It's just like mud, basically. A couple of bricks and some mud holding up this wall. And this is a new wall covered in like marble tile.
This is David Lopan makes a good point. He says this is being exported. China's doing this in other countries that signed up for the Belt and Road Initiative.
Correct.
When your country signs up for the BRI projects
to
take China's infrastructure where they move all their workers over to your country.
Yes.
They don't hire locals.
Nope.
So nobody gets a job. They make this stuff. In fact, they make it even worse sometimes
do.
because they don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, look at that, right? If you're walking along this and you're in a fancy city and you're one of those travel vloggers and you're like, look, China's so amazing. Look how like advanced it is. What you're doing is you're looking at lipstick on a pig. It's tiles on top of mud. And I mean, I don't know about you, but if I'm going to go lean up against something that's at a river or something, I prefer it not to just be mud.
We should show that guy that's
that
swinging
guy,
on these and they fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. Something happened in Qingdao. Now, Qingdao, as you all know, is the place where the German beer comes from in China. China's best beer.
Tsingtao.
Yeah.
But it's Qingdao, actually.
China's best beer, if you don't know, was made by the Germans because Qingdao used to be their colony, basically. And so they set up the factories, and then China just continued making it. Now, in Qingdao, there's this very famous road. It's called Dashuelu, which means University Street. And people go there and take photos. And so it's always in the media because it's got this red wall.
It's like an Instagram place, but Instagram's blocked.
Exactly. So anyway, on this road, a massive sinkhole appeared. And a bus got swallowed into it.
Favorite drink, Dongpeng.
Yes, Dongpeng, dude.
So bad.
I know.
We drank a lot of those.
Oh, we certainly did. And I mean, again, it just shows you that no places can escape this. Even famous, middle of the city type places fall apart. Now, what happened here is, I just wanted to set this up. This train got stuck, okay? And this happens sometimes. It's got stuck for whatever reason. And it got stuck for 3 hours with no ventilation. They wouldn't open the doors. You can't open the windows. People were getting mad because nothing was being done. Can you imagine being stuck in this train with no AC, no ventilation, with hundreds of people?
I've been in very similar situations in China.
So you know what it's like. Yes, I know what it's like. And people just lost it. So this guy was like, yeah.
This hero, he's like, screw this.
Yeah.
The cop's like, no, don't.
Yeah.
Yes, do.
Yeah.
They need air.
Yeah, everybody's cheering him on.
Yeah. Open the window.
Yeah. He
So
smashed
if you're
the window
listening,
open.
he's smashing the window with that tool, emergency tool.
Yes.
The woman's or guy's sitting under the broken glass.
Yes.
He didn't move.
Yeah. They tried to stop him, but eventually they did manage to break the window open.
Get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Very necessary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody was happy about it, except obviously the train staff. But you only ever see positive stuff about China's railway, you know? It's always propaganda. You don't see this side of things.
Nope.
Anyway, can you imagine what the bathrooms are like?
I don't need to imagine. Some of the worst places I've ever had the privilege of existing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's propaganda time, guys.
Yes, it is. In fact, it's very related. Because
Yes.
this is the kind of stuff you usually go ahead and play.
Yeah, okay, I'll
You
play it.
usually see about Chinese propaganda about the high-speed rail stations. It's their most. They love their high-speed rails.
Yes.
Right. They promote them all the time. You see
Yes.
this kind of propaganda. It makes it look beautiful and pristine.
Yes, yes.
And the metros are all pristine and all the train-related stuff's very pristine, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
They also hire foreigners, right?
Dude, my eyes are hurting from that. Look at that saturation. That is not normal.
They also
That's
sped it
sped
up.
up. It's
this propaganda.
crazy
You know,
saturation because
Can
they
you-
want the
can you
smoke.
fix this clip?
Yeah, I think I may have.
Okay.
I think I may have fixed it.
Please fix this propaganda.
Let's try to get it back to normal because I'm tired of this like oversaturated eye bleeding nonsense.
Okay.
They do that. They put the saturation fully up. Ugh.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
now it's
more
fixed.
like it.
Yeah.
And that still
Look at the
looks too
smog.
good.
Look at the smog.
Yeah. There we go. Just have to dial that saturation down a bit.
Slow it down.
Slow
make
it down to like a,
normal.
yeah, exactly. In fact, it could be worse, but it's hard. They saturate so bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is they hire foreigners, so non-Chinese people, like British people, Canadians, whatever,
Yeah.
to go to China and brag about how amazing the airports are, the infrastructure for the train stations are. It's amazing. So I wanted to show a little bit of reality behind that.
Okay, let's take it.
I've never seen anything like this before. The scale, the size of it is massive. I've only just arrived here and I'm getting hit in the face with this futuristic infrastructure already.
So,
wow.
Yeah, you see shills go out there and
Yes.
promote all this stuff all the time. But this is a very new station, by the way.
Yes, this is Chengdu Dong, right?
Yeah, Chengdu Dong, a very important station. Very propaganda station.
Yes.
Absolutely just getting wrecked.
Yeah.
Because they build it like shit. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's tofu dreg construction.
So it's one of those things that looks impressive on camera, and people can go and make all this propaganda about it. But at the end of the day, it rains, and people are, well, it rains indoors. You know? That's not okay. Why don't we see this in the propaganda?
Yeah, it's the shills that go and shill for China. They don't go and do a follow-up.
No.
They'll just delete these posts if somebody sends them to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll delete the comments or delete the, the tweet or whatever.
Exactly.
Or block the person, right?
Yep.
Where is this? Like, this is what you're getting when you let China build your stuff.
Yeah.
This is what they do at home, right?
You know, you can really compare this to when you buy that shiny gadget of Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, you buy a Chinese gadget and
Has
it's
anyone ever
shiny.
been impressed by one of those?
Well, I mean, it comes with like blue LEDs on it and stuff, and it looks fancy and nice, but then it breaks after
That's
a
what I
while, and
mean.
you're like, well, that sucked.
Yeah.
It looked nice, but
Then you
it's-
forget about it.
Yeah, and then you're like, whatever. Yeah. And that's what you can say about the construction.
Yeah.
It's the same deal. They put nice lights on it, and it
Yeah.
doesn't last.
It doesn't.
Yeah, make it look cool for a while.
It's
you know?
abysmal.
Yeah.
The building quality is abysmal in China, and people just need to wake up to that because I feel like so many people are getting duped by this billions of dollars of propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not about trying to win your opinion over. That's probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things if you
Yeah.
like China or don't like China, whatever.
Yeah.
It matters when government leaders decide to partner up with China to make their infrastructure that ends up killing people. Look up Serbia.
Yeah.
Look up what they did in Serbia, and you'll
Yeah.
see what happened.
Exactly. What's this?
Beyond the Great Firewall, I take you inside the Chinese internet to show you the stuff they don't want you to see. I'm going to translate it. My big brother's mopping the floor here. Mopping the floor. All of a sudden, a mop hit the door frame. By accident, he's swishing with this thing.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you just knock the door frame with your broom and all this crap comes out of it? That's not cool.
Dude. Dude.
What's even going on?
Seriously. So this clip, China's furious at, shows a homeless woman with a little kid picking up trash.
Well, yeah, just a poor, impoverished woman anyway. And it's a part of the, recyclers. They go around and they dig in the trash to look for things that they can sell. And it goes against this pristine image China's always trying to present.
Yeah, it's sad.
You know what's the worst part about it is we understand it's sad and it's awful. Okay, it really is terrible. But the worst part of the people that try to run interference. Have you noticed?
Yes.
When you see a clip like that, they're all like, "Oh, that's not normal. That's not really China. China's not like that. You're just trying to pretend like it." No. They take that situation and they rubbish it. They like sweep it under the carpet. Like those people don't matter.
Yeah.
Because it's ruining their pristine image, and I don't like that.
Evil.
It's very evil.
Hundreds of millions of people in China are poor.
Very poor.
And they get censored and blocked when they try to talk about it.
Correct. And then it doesn't get fixed because it's not a problem. Ignorance is bliss. Anyway, you missed out on this on Monday. If you're not part of Shaban Ho, let's show you what it was. Bring the volume up. So you've been sold this dream, but it's not materializing. What do? You're young, you're full of youthful energy. You get out there, you get on your little bikes, and you go around beating the crap out of each other, basically. She's awake.
What do you think they're going to get up to when there's no job prospects?
What is this? Chilling out, and all of a sudden...
This is just...
He spilled it all over his hand. Naked man appears.
Naked man jumps into frame, chasing a woman, followed by another woman who he then hugs. This was China's explosion in gang violence.
Yeah, we showed a lot of pretty violent footage, to be honest, but we needed people to see the gang violence that's picking up in China, like the real thing.
Because of unemployment.
Yeah.
Youth unemployment's nuts. People are taking to the streets, making real scooter gangs and effing people up. It's nuts.
It is.
So we documented it. It's on patreon.com/ADV podcast on our Xiaoban Ho show. That's our secret show. It's the stuff we can't show on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's our VIP secret show.
So if you like this show, you're going to love that show.
Yeah.
There's actually limited slots open right now for the sale. They're running out. I believe there's only half the amount as last time. So if you want to support us at patreon.com/ADV podcast, make sure you fill up those slots or join us at the live tier.
Yeah, love that.
You get access to every show we've done. Again, it's like this show, except the stuff we can't show.
Yes.
And it's the best way to support us because you get content. You're not just throwing us money. You're getting content for it.
Every week, and we love it. So we hope we can see you there. Of course, it's a big ask, so only if you have the means. And now it's time for a Bollard Report.
It is.
You ready? Let's do it.
Bollard.
We got a Bollard Report today. Today's Bollard Report starts with bollards.
Yes, you saw them.
There are bollards everywhere to prevent vehicular manslaughter, which is happening in China. Countless people getting murdered every week, really, by people driving cars into crowds.
Yes.
They put up these big bollards everywhere to prevent that from happening. They also use these. We want to introduce these other kind of bollards.
Oh, those little, railings?
Railing bollards,
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of good.
In this scene, we could see not only bollards, but we also see a man who's selling some, I believe, ducks.
Yeah, some good street food for you there.
Street food.
May have utilized that puddle to clean his utensils and the trays on which said street food is on.
Yes, so we hope you enjoyed that quick Bollard Report. Welcome to Worldview!
Yeah, this is where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China, and of course...
Pause that. What the hell is that?
Well, it's bots, Chinese bots. And you can see one of the main platforms here is X. So what this is, these are virtual phones. And it's kind of interesting. You see they keep rebooting because it comes up with a different ID so that you can have potentially thousands of bot accounts on this one computer just running automatically like this.
That's right.
And this is when you're interacting with people on Twitter, when you see all these posts, this is what you're dealing with.
Yes.
It's kind of insane the amount of fake people on Twitter.
So this is just one machine running this, right? China has a prerogative to make potentially millions of accounts on Twitter
Yes.
to promote Chinese propaganda.
Correct.
In fact, what happened was we were so interested in this that we reached out to a company called Cyabra. And what they do is they have a platform where they fight misinformation, try to find out where these like fake campaigns come from.
Yep.
Because something was interesting. Some people were pointing out to us, actually some people we had recently done an interview with, where they were talking about this black fatigue thing. Now, I have to preface this by saying this report that we're about to tell you about has nothing to do with the actual concept of black fatigue.
Yeah.
This is only about the influence campaign behind it, okay? We were seeing a lot of people were seeing a crazy alarming amount of content surrounding this concept of something called black fatigue,
Yes.
right? And so we reached out to Cyberpunk. We were curious if like China or something was behind it, right?
Yes, because it's weird. It's like, why all of a sudden are you seeing an unnatural amount of focus on this one topic?
Yes. So here it says Cyber conducted a comprehensive scan of black fatigue and the hashtag black fatigue across X, Facebook, and TikTok throughout May 2025. The scans sampled activity from 4,276 profiles, which generated 7,447 posts and comments. Here's the analysis. The conversation began to gain momentum on May 11th, with noticeable spikes in activity over the following days, peaking in May 16th. In the days that followed, engagement fluctuated, rising and falling, without a clear trend until May 25th, when a more consistent increase began to emerge. This culminated in a major peak in May 30 and 31st, during which 3,050 content units were published across platforms. Let's have a look at this.
Okay.
So it kind of started with this. It says one of the most impactful posts came from a TikTok account called King_Millennial_ENT, which published a video on May 11th addressing the topic with the caption, "Black fatigue is a real thing, even in the black community." The video went viral, reaching 6.3 million views, sparking a wave of reactions. Many users expressed appreciation, thanking him for speaking the truth, while others accused him of being paid to promote a topic or criticized him for bringing unnecessary attention to it. This post marked one of the earliest surges in engagement, helping to propel the term into broader public discourse. So probably an organic post, right?
Yes, that's going to be organic.
What was interesting about this was how this works. So Cyabra categorized and scanned the profiles using an authenticity tagging system and found out that of the 4,276 profiles sampled, 37% of them, 1,610 profiles, were identified as fake. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's automatically your alarm bells are going off.
Yes.
They're like 37% of these profiles are fake.
Correct.
Right? The percentage is significantly higher than the platform's typical benchmark, where fake profiles usually comprise 7 to 10% of online conversations. So on X, usually we're looking at 7 to 10% of them as being
Yeah,
fake.
for sure.
So this is much higher.
Much, much higher.
Which means something, right?
Yes.
Fake profiles were active from the very onset of the conversation, remained consistently engaged throughout the same periods as authentic users, notably during the identified peak of May 30th through 31st. Cyber detected 1,275 content units published by fake profiles. This means that the fake accounts were responsible for 42% of all the content shared during this peak, highlighting their dominant role in shaping and amplifying the conversation at its most visible moment. So interestingly, 42% of the conversations around this black fatigue thing were fake.
I'd just like to talk about this for a minute, because what you're seeing here is you're seeing a divisive topic.
Yes.
Okay? And it's a divisive topic that has been hijacked and boosted by some unknown source.
Right.
Because this is how you tear America down, is you tear it down from the inside by creating division. All right? Any topic, real or not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's why I said this is out of the conversation.
Yeah, any topic that is causing division
Yes.
and causing people to hate each other and causing people to fight each other within
Right.
the USA is jumped upon by predators, external forces, and amplified using fake accounts. 42% of all the content surrounding this whole black fatigue topic were fake.
Yes.
That's insane.
That's almost half.
Yeah.
Go to the next thing. It actually shows you the goals as to why this happened. So what was interesting is I reached out to Cyber about this.
Yes.
And they did not find Russia or China behind this.
Right.
They didn't say it. There's no conclusive evidence. It's just that there was the typical indicators were not there. But somebody made all these accounts, right? You have to think about it like that.
Yeah, I was honestly quite convinced that China had something to do with it.
And that's why we did it.
Yeah, exactly.
And according to Cyber, they probably didn't, right? And we are honest about what we do.
Sure.
We tell you the truth.
Somebody did.
But somebody did it, right? And the interesting part is why, right? It says, conclusion, the manipulation worked. Fake content generated more than 6,000 engagements and reached over 1 million views at one point, turning a real conversation into chaos. This is more about one trending hashtag. It's a warning. It shows how easily bad actors can hijack online conversations around sensitive social issues and weaponize them at scale. Fake accounts exploited public interest in a real and meaningful topic to push divisive narratives, inflame racial tensions, and distort the conversation for maximum disruption. We have seen this pattern repeatedly. It is never really a healthy debate. It is about using digital manipulation to pit communities against each other, spread hate, and erode trust in public discourse. This is the same playbook we have seen targeting elections, social movements, and civic conversations worldwide. It is happening now as bad actors exploit social platforms to amplify hate and division in conversations that directly impact communities offline.
Yeah.
So even though Russia and China were potentially not behind this, you know who was in this report. So I was speaking to them about this, and they said, oh, we've uncovered plenty of China stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Actually, very recently, I believe in March, they released this report, and this is a fantastic breakdown. Look at this.
Okay.
So this is their breakdown of Russia, China, and the Gulf countries, which typically do fake campaigns,
like Iran and stuff?
Gulf countries.
Oh, sorry,
right?
Gulf countries.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I know Iran's involved in a lot of this sort of
Absolutely,
too.
absolutely. So if you look at this, it says these three countries break down network dynamics and interaction. So Russia uses connections, similar behavior. China uses similar behavior. And Gulf countries use connections, similar behavior.
What is this involved? I mean, is this just an overview of how China works?
Of how they're
Russia?
how they utilize fake accounts.
Okay, so this is not pertaining to any particular subject.
No, this is just how much they use it, right?
Just want to make sure I
So if you look at the proportion of fake profiles, Russia uses 25% fake profiles for this stuff.
And then the rest are like real people.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Right? China uses 50 to 80% of fake profiles. So when you're seeing content on Twitter, potentially 50 to 80% of it is fake bots.
Yeah.
Why do they utilize this stuff? Well, it's to literally do propaganda.
Yeah.
And to sow division.
Correct.
And you know, like all this public discourse to piss people off and pit
Well,
them
I mean,
against
you
each
saw
other.
that screen we showed you where they're just like refreshing and,
Yes.
putting out fake stuff. Not only that, we've shown you the bot farms where they've got thousands of phones in a room.
I like this visual identity thing. This is how you can identify these, CCP accounts. Right?
Yes.
These China government accounts. For Russia, the profile images feature animated characters and celebrities. Interesting thing that they do. China, profile images feature young Chinese women, often with minimal clothing or cartoons, like anime cartoons. I've noticed this.
Yes, they use those like Genshin Impact looking,
Yes.
Things.
Correct. They use naming schemes. And so China uses profiles with English names.
Yes.
Or numeric only things. So it's like 1, 2, 3,
user
4, 5.
35,
Exactly. In Russia, many profiles share identical American names, right? Interestingly, the timing, so when you see this misinformation post come out, if China's trying to amplify something or trying to make like some civil war type conflict in America, the post timing will be consistently at the same time in hours. So they're actually, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
And go through some of the other slides here. This is pretty interesting.
Okay.
So I'll just brush through this real quick, but basically, you can keep going. It's okay.
Okay.
Basically, what they do is they employ these things, right? And so these are 3 specific campaigns they investigated.
This is for what, the porn thing they were doing?
This is, there's a couple things here.
Okay.
So they have the China-Taiwan conflict campaign. It involved 107 fake X accounts and was launched after China's military exercises in Taiwan. The profiles involved claim Taiwan as a province of China pushing pro-China narratives. The porn content campaign, which I covered on my channel, consisted of 643 fake X accounts, and they spread pornographic content with hashtags of various Chinese cities. The goal is to distract the public from significant domestic events occurring in those areas. So if something happened in Xinjiang, Western China genocide, they spread porn with hashtag Xinjiang.
I saw them do this for everything. If a dissident posted something about China, whether it was anything, police brutality, or they showed some corrupt official or whatever it was, immediately underneath you would suddenly get, I'm sure you guys noticed this as well, you would get porn. It'd be like just literally pornography.
There's actually some interesting.
And it would be some Chinese pornography thing, and it's to distract people away. Yeah. All right.
We actually have it here. There's a so the number 1 fake campaign was the China-Taiwan conflict. Number 2 is the porn content. Number 3 is called the Chinese businessman campaign, which was about misdirecting about COVID.
Right.
So just quickly, I just want to show some of this. To keep going. It's okay.
Okay.
You can read through this. It's down below. They actually said we could share this. So right here.
Yes.
This is an example of a fake campaign where accounts spread pornographic images to distract from events happening in various cities around China using identical profile pictures. So they were able to identify what the accounts were, and they found like a coherent link to all this stuff. And they managed to successfully do it. When I was experimenting back then when I was making my video, we saw an explosion of this. You were showing me, you're like, what is this? Whenever we'd search a city where a bridge fell down, or people got sick, or there's a flood, or there's a building collapse, or there's a genocide, right? They literally just choked it. They choked the whole network on Twitter.
Yeah, just with pornography.
And it worked. It really worked. It flooded it. Chinese, profile images follow distinct themes. China's fake accounts frequently use photos of young Chinese women, cartoon characters, animals like cats, and reuse identical images across multiple accounts. And so you can see that. That's where you can kind of pick up on this stuff.
Yeah.
We noticed this. There's an account that had a Chinese celebrity, but what they did, they took the photo and they kind of manipulated it to the point where it won't get picked up by Google.
Yeah, they took the Angela baby, a picture of her, and then they like modified it slightly and used it.
This is a prolific account that has
millions of views,
huge traction.
Yep.
Right? And it's fake. It's a CCP it's very clearly based on kind of what you can see from this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's a CCP account.
Correct.
And people get tricked by this stuff because there's so much effort being put into it.
Correct.
Right? You can keep going. English, Chinese names, that kind of stuff. This was like the porn accounts or whatever. It says, below are examples of bots created for the campaign involving pornographic images featuring profile pictures of young Chinese women in lingerie. Notably, identical images were used across multiple bots, indicating a pattern of image reuse.
Yep.
And what was interesting about this was I actually did an interview with the cyber team.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a couple questions. I asked a couple poignant questions. So when you see patterns of Chinese account activity, are you able to see which of their goals are a priority based on how much they post, right? And she said, yes, frequency and timing tell you a lot. These campaigns are structured, not random. When China prioritizes a goal, we'll see fake accounts ramp up around 2 months in advance.
Okay.
Posting in tight bursts. Same hour, same hashtag, same language. It's volume-based signaling. High-volume campaigns usually tied to narratives Beijing wants to push, like Taiwan, Hong Kong dissidents, regional control stories like the West Philippine Sea. And it's not just about how much they post, it's when and how. For example, we've seen China-linked profiles flood timelines right after a high-tension geopolitical moment. That spike tells us where they're trying to steer public attention. So yeah, behavior gives the goal away. And we've seen this time and time again.
Yeah.
I'm worried because of how effective it's become. Because in the beginning, I don't think it was, and it's becoming very effective, as she says later. I said, what role do large real accounts have in legitimizing these fake accounts? Do you think that they know they're spreading fake account content? And that's what I'm concerned about. Are people willingly doing this?
Yeah.
Or are they sharing these, like that Angela baby account we were talking about? Are they willingly sharing it, or are they getting duped by it, right?
Yeah.
She said big accounts absolutely play a role. Sometimes it's deliberate, but a lot of the time it's unintentional. Fake accounts hijack trending hashtags to provoke outrage, just enough to bait bigger real users into engaging. Once that happens, it snowballs. The fake accounts piggyback on the reach of the real ones, which makes everything look legit.
Yeah.
And that's the trick. Most real users have no clue that they're boosting something synthetic.
Yeah.
They then think they're reacting to something real when in fact they're actually echoing a narrative seeded by a bot network. The whole point of these ops is to weaponize the visibility of real people to mask inauthentic roots.
Yeah.
Most real users don't realize they're reacting to content seeded by ghosts.
Correct.
Right. Third question, the last question I asked was, with the amount that China is prioritizing disinformation and misinformation and propaganda, and the campaigns that you've tracked, do you think it has a real world effect specifically on Americans, or is it relatively ineffective? I've heard so many people say, yeah, let them blow their load. Basically,
sure.
they're gonna run out of steam because it's not effective. She says it's having a real impact.
Of course it is.
We've seen China-linked networks drive campaigns that shape how millions perceive global events, even if most of the people don't realize they're being influenced. The goal isn't to convince everyone. It's to flood platforms with low-quality signals that overwhelm real conversation. When fake profiles push a coordinated narrative over and over, it distorts what people think the crowd believes. That shifts the Overton window. That's not theoretical. That shapes headlines, polls, and political debates. These campaigns are engineered to create noise, stir division, and chip away at trust. Even if they don't change minds overnight, they change the terrain of the conversation.
Yeah.
That's the effect, especially in the US, where trust in media and institutions is already on shaky ground. That vulnerability is being exploited every day. It's not about changing your mind. It's about flooding the feed until you can't tell what's real.
Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. And I see it all the time. And it's one of those things, when you especially go on Twitter or X and you're looking through your feed, you have to question everything that's being served to you. Because they are taking advantage of the algorithms. They are hijacking certain topics and they are pushing certain things and they're appearing in front of you. And you're like, well, this looks like a big account that's sharing this out. I've called it out. We've called it out on the show when you've got those science, whatever, like, you know, blow your mind science or something. And it's going to have like 8 million followers. And they're putting out a Chinese propaganda thing, which is fake. Like China released a new nuclear battery or a brain-powered robot. And you're like, whoa. And it's rubbish, and it takes us 5 minutes to find out it's fake.
And now you know 50 to 80% of those profiles are fake. That's the majority.
You know, the people on Twitter, you see that stupid soccer football robot thing is being pushed again, like China's first ever. It's that, and it overwhelms everyone, and they all think it's real, and it took us, again, 5 minutes to find out it's fake.
Another thing that these accounts do, and I'll finish up with this, is they'll boost the shill accounts. So you'll get a real shill that works for the Chinese government.
Yeah.
Does a propaganda piece, says there's no Uyghur genocide.
Oh, yeah, there's no genocide in Xinjiang because it's fresh apples.
Get a white guy to do it, right? Or whatever. And then these 50 to 80% of bot accounts are going to go further that message.
They're going to share it out. They're going to reply to it, so it boosts up in the algorithm.
We're being manipulated.
Of course. And I mean, just think about how unfair it is because, you know, these platforms like Twitter and so on, they also sell advertising to advertisers. Advertisers are paying to be put in front of bots. You know, they're wasting their money on this crap.
Absolutely.
You know?
Anyway, fantastic report.
Check you've got a link. You've got a link?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Really cool stuff. Anyway, it's very interesting. They go through some other countries as well.
Okay.
I just wanted to show some of the China stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, be aware of the fake accounts from China. They're very tricky.
Yes, exactly.
Love to hijack those hashtags, by the way.
What's this? I want to find a husband tonight.
Yeah, that was like a coordinated thing.
Yeah.
From that porn campaign. Anyway, you guys can read through this at your own leisure. It's fine.
Highly suggested if you
definitely
you're interested. You know,
definitely.
Likes generated by other fake profiles with the same campaign
because they like each other's posts, right?
Obviously, and then when the algorithm sees, oh look, this has got a lot of likes, it shares it out. Yeah,
nuts. Anyway, we got some other news to look at.
Yeah.
This was going around. It's interesting. It says, explosion at a California fireworks warehouse sets off massive blaze and forces evacuations. We're showing you so many factory fires in China.
Yes.
What are we, 50, 80, 90, 100?
What was it, two weeks ago, was it, that we showed that huge fireworks factory just exploded and destroyed the entire side of the mountain or whatever?
Where was the news?
Yep.
Yet a small warehouse.
Well, I don't know if it's small.
Well, you know what I mean. It wasn't like a factory deliberate factory.
Sure. It didn't wipe out like a whole like side of a town or something,
like it does in China,
for sure.
And we just thought it's very interesting that there's so much transparency when anything happens.
There's
in
a reason
America.
we're showing you this is when it happens in the West, it gets headlines. This is on AP and it went everywhere. All the big major places, they put this out because there was an explosion. And that's good. That's how it should be because it's news, right? You got to know what's going on. If you live in the area, you need to know that, it's dangerous there right now or whatever the case.
Yep.
But when it happens in China, as we show you every week, it never makes any news. And it's far bigger things, far bigger explosions, far bigger factory fires than this.
Absolutely.
So we're just showing you this to make a point.
Yes, exactly. And there's a response. They're sending the fire marshal out and the bomb investigation team. Anyway.
And even the governor, Gavin Newsom, is getting involved. You don't see any of this when a massive
it's covered up
town blows up in China. Then it's
every week
nothing.
Every week this has been happening in China.
Yeah, no one gets involved.
No,
other than the cover-up team, you know.
Yes. Naval reservist pleads guilty to paying bribe to obtain Department of Defense identification cards. Can you give us a TLDR about this?
Very simple. Guy tried to get through his connections because he used to, work in the Navy.
A Navy Reserve.
Reserve. He married a Chinese woman, and then all of a sudden he starts asking one of his contacts from in the Navy if he can get unauthorized ID cards for two Chinese linked individuals so that they could gain access to bases.
They are obsessed with gaining access to military bases.
There's also that like Florida base they keep going for. And that's the reason we're telling you about this is they're relentless. They're just relentless.
Yeah.
They only want to gain access to that Florida base.
They need those bases.
Is there gold there? What's happening on that base?
We got something about gold, don't we?
Do we? I don't know. Do we have something about gold?
Leprechaun. Did you say?
Oh, yeah. Where is that? It's been ages since I've used it. I don't know if I have this.
Oh, whatever.
I'll find it. I'll find it. There.
Is that me gold?
Is that me gold?
Yeah,
I'm a leprechaun.
Anyway.
But honestly, like, it doesn't stop. We keep seeing this. They've also arrested another 2 people connected to the Navy, which, they were taking photos on, bases and stuff.
Something
it's just
along those lines,
the espionage doesn't stop. And they were trying to bribe. This guy's trying to bribe on behalf of China to get these IDs.
Gosh.
I mean, it's just like, can this stop?
So he's pleading guilty as the update because that happened in February or whatever.
Yeah.
Reported.
Anyway, guys,
you get the idea.
Be vigilant if you're in the military. Be vigilant.
I'm sorry that went so long. We'll hit the Q&A right now.
Yes. Okay. It's time for Yamcha. This is where we answer your questions and question your answers. Again, thank you for joining us on this holiday today, the 4th of July. Please relax. I know we're all going to probably have a nice dinner and whatnot when this is done, if you're not already having it. Time to loosen the tie, say stay awesome, and farewell to those who are not watching us live or on the weekend. And for everyone else, let's continue.